Looking for a school that provides a solid foundation for your little one? 𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏 Christian School is now admitting children from 2 to 6 years old from January 2026. At 𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏 Christian School, we understand that every child is unique. Our qualified and experienced teachers ensure that each child gets the personalized attention they need. Our beautiful classrooms are designed to stimulate learning and spark curiosity, offering a rich environment that caters to every child's developmental stage. And we provide balanced meals, snacks, and lunch to keep your little one healthy and energized throughout the day. With a Christian approach, we focus on the holistic growth of every child. Give your child the start of a strong start in life with a school that truly cares. Enroll today. Don't miss this opportunity to give your child the best start. Visit us off Kasarani Mweki Road or call us now at +254 758 396 110. 𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏 Christian School, a foundation for the future.
Elevate TV, advancing kingdom lifestyle.
Good morning and praise the Lord once again. You see Apostle Patrick behind the camera, just know it is on a Tuesday morning. Tuesday morning we gather and we talk not but about anything else but leadership. And of course, you know, I don't just come alone. I come with people, you included. This is not my show, it is your show. The reason why it is your show is because I depend on what you ask. And when you comment there, I have to read it. I ask everyone who is listening and who is watching this show to do me one favor. Call your friend, share with someone, tell them Apostle Patrick is back on the Leadership Show. Every Tuesday, I bring a guest, and this guest, I look for one who is not just going to tell us things, but who practically will show us how things happen. Last week, we had a great one. And today, we have another great person. This man, I've known him for years. And I have a testimony of what he is about to share with us. And as I look for someone who would talk about this topic we are handling today, I could not look further and to go for the man I know. Our guest is not an armchair general. I have seen this before. He is a man that folds his hands, dirty them to get results. And my guest is a pastor of Gospel Celebration Church, a place called Kamolu. And he has many hats that he wears. Today you shall hear about him, and you have a chance to ask him a question. Just go at the comment section, comment, write, ask a question. We are here amplifying what you are saying or asking. My guest is Pastor Nahashon Macharia. Karibu sana, Pastor Nahashon.
Asante, Apostle.
What a blessing to have you this morning. And just know that I'm happy to have you on that seat. I will look forward to that. And I would want you to just look at the camera and tell us a bit about yourself as you welcome those that are watching.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Apostle. It's my great honor and privilege to sit on this seat, to add to the great knowledge that has been shared on this platform to many deserving Kenyans. This has been a continuing journey, and I am grateful for the great investment that has been put to provide a platform where many people can be helped. I want to thank you, Apostle, for considering me worthy to join you on this morning digest show where we are talking about leadership matters. And I want to acknowledge the great men who have sat here before to share great wisdom. I feel honored. So to all my viewers, thank you. And I welcome you to participate even as we take the journey through this great subject called leadership. And I know that we are going to learn a lot. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. I know sometimes when you say record leadership, people may wonder, what does the pastor have to tell us? You know, there are people who just hear Pastor Nahashon who may probably want to know what else, who else is Pastor Nahashon other than the preacher man they see. What else do you do? Or just unpack for us a bit, who is Pastor Nahashon?
Okay, thank you, Apostle. My background, or before I even say about my background, I am married. I remember one of the show you held on this platform, one of your guests handled family leadership. And it is important for me to say that I'm married. I'm a father of 2. And it's a great responsibility and a great honor. And together with that, I am a professional accountant. And I did accounts, that is, I'm a certified public accountant. And I also pursued finance at the university and many other disciplines that I have continued to pursue. And I am grateful because the journey has been quite encouraging. Looking at my working experience, now this is I would say I've been in the marketplace now for the last around 25 years.
Wow.
And having participated in various levels and in different industries, handling laws, I have grown through the radar, and I believe that through this opportunity, I have something that I can share with my viewers. And in that subject we are calling leadership and records. I'm not just a pastor, but there is more than that I do. And I appreciate God for the opportunity to be able to contribute to the marketplace, wisdom, and to do many other things that it pertains to the growth, not just in the body of Christ, but also to see myself adding value to what others are doing in the marketplace. And therefore, I thank you, and I know that this opportunity is a good one to help us share a lot.
You know, I love surprises. I don't love surprises when they are coming to me or when I'm the consumer, but I love them when I'm the one giving. But maybe I should tell the viewer, the listener, the reason why I had to ask you to deal with this matter. Many years ago, I visited you, many years ago. And then I found you, you know, in your small house, and you had dedicated the whole day to do filing. So I found all manner of papers around. And you told me that you set a day to file or to keep records well. And I love the whole day of filing. I've never had such a day in my life. But when I saw that, I said, this man has something. And then over the years, I've seen your consistency in filing, in keeping records. And I thought I would want to know the secret behind that. And I think today is why. I mean, the reason why I have you today is so that you can tell us more about records.
Thank you, Apostle. To start with, I appreciate the wisdom that my father shared with me. One thing he taught me, that if it is written, it is important.
Wow.
If it is written, it is important. The reason why people don't document things is when they don't consider them important.
I know, you should pause. That's very powerful, Pastor. If it is written,
it is important.
Wow. That is great wisdom.
Thank you. And when I was growing up, I could see a culture that my father embraced, and this one was about record management. And in his cabinet, he used to maintain one book where every serious entry, including any transaction or any dealing with a third party, he used to document it there. And in some places, I could ask myself, why was he doing that? And I asked him a question, and he told me, if you want to avoid issues and disputes, one way to deal with that is record keeping. And I am grateful that he has helped me. He helped me through that, because through my journey, I have been able to appreciate what record keeping means. I want to give this as a story that one time I was asked to support a transaction where we were dealing with one of our key agencies in our country. And I tried to ask myself how to go about it. But the good thing about it is that when I was going through my record, I came across a document that helped me, and it saved me more than 240,000. If I could not produce that document, that is what I could have suffered. And records are very key in any form of leadership, and they help a lot. And that is why I want to encourage every one of us. I know we are at the start of the year. One thing we know that history is not preserved when it is gone. It is preserved right when we are, maybe, if you want to preserve history, we don't have to wait for tomorrow. We have to do it now. And I want to encourage us that now that we are still at the start of the year, there are things we can do and do them right, so that by the end of the year, when we look back, we can even appreciate that we are making progress. Many people, I know it is the time that people are setting goals. Some of those goals are not written, and some of us cannot even appreciate, may not be able to tell, where am I coming from and where am I going? And at this point, I think it is very important for all of us to appreciate the place of record, because they are very key in day-to-day management, and also to direct other affairs as life continues to unfold.
Wow, that's very good. If you have to preserve history, do it today.
Do it today.
If it is written,
it
is important.
It's because it is important.
I love that.
It is important.
Yeah, so man, that is where we are starting. I'm sure if you have a pen and a paper, you are ready. Of course, don't just write on a paper, write on something you can preserve for record, that you shall remember this day. So, Pastor, there are personal records people need to preserve. There are family records, of course, people need to preserve. But because of, I don't know how many days you'll give us or the time we have, let's first go to institutional records. Maybe there, because if we start on family, by the time we go to personal family, my director will be telling us 2 minutes. But for now, can we look at an institution? Could be a company, could be a church, but somebody is listening, carefree as a leader, want to know what is it about record and leadership.
One thing, Apostle, and I'm happy that the focus you have given to this program is one where you are focusing on leadership. Leadership law is a stewardship law. And there is no way for you to show stewardship without accountability. And you cannot show accountability without record. And therefore, any position we hold, whether in the corporate and maybe in other areas, they are positions of trust. We are not final. And when we look at a leadership position, we are taking a position on behalf of others. And when we talk about institutional record, it is good to know that institutions, there is a perpetual progression. In other words, institutions are moving. We are foreseeing the future, and we are looking forward to the time to come. And therefore, when we talk about leadership and record, we are saying one way for us to provide stable, accountable, And successive leadership is by us maintaining records. And I think with that, I can engage maybe a question so that we'll be able now to...
Yeah, you said for, leadership, institutions, and you talked about there is a perpetual way things are run, and therefore someone has to keep filing that or keeping that. Now, the reason I'm asking that is because somebody is there wondering where now does record come in. And I love the way you are saying stewardship, and then leadership and stewardship are related, which I agree, and then accountability. But now someone is there wondering, okay, now tell me more about that. So recording what?
Yeah, when we talk about institutions, and in this particular instance, I know you have mentioned about records in within a church, maybe like in a church setup.
Mm-hmm.
There are those records that we call foundational records,
okay,
which gives an organization legality. And we are talking of important documents like constitution.
Okay.
When we talk about a constitution, we are talking about a document that is like, in a nutshell, it covers every aspect of that institution, right from the name, the objectives of that particular organization. In other words, before you hit the ground running, you have a document that is, if someone was to interact with it before they meet you, they would have an idea of where you are going. So when we talk about a church, and maybe let me talk about, let me focus on that for now. We are talking about key documents that are very important before you even think about doing a registration of a church. That one of the key documents that you need to have is a constitution. And together with that, there are other very important documents like certificate of registration, which is issued through the application to the registrar of societies. And it is also an important document because it gives an institution legality. When we talk about companies, we are talking about the certificate of registration. But now for the church, we are talking about the certificate of registration, which is issued by the registrar of cooperatives. Together with that, we have other important documents like trustee deeds, which is a document that helps the trustees, the people who manage the assets and the properties of like a church institution, to know how to treat and how to handle assets. Because remember, we said the role of leadership, it is to provide direction. Leadership will tell you where we are going. And therefore, it is the responsibility of the leadership to ask themselves, for the journey we are taking, what are the important documents that we need to have in place so that we are able to stabilize and to provide transparency. And anyone who may want to know something about us may have a point of reference. So we are talking about key documents like the constitutions, certificate of registration, and we also have other key statutory documents like the KRA PIN, which is very important. And all those documents, we hold them in trust. Yes.
Wow. And when you mention things like constitution, there are people who start before they get a constitution. Constitution find us going. That is good. Actually, there are people who don't know, they don't have a constitution, they don't know what it says, we just go, But now that's very important. And just before we go very far, allow me to, as I've always said, it is not my show, it is your show. Allow me to just read a few comments so that if there is any question you can answer as we continue. And I have John Chiwabwida says, glad to have Pastor Najan on the show, tuned in listening. Thank you, John. And Christine, this is your relative. Christine Gena says, watching, more grace. And Michael Chia, all the way from Lusaka, Zambia, says, great, good morning, Apostle, leading with the records. Oh, okay. Wow. This one, I know why. Is in a place where records did work. And Bishop Arroy tells you that good morning here to learn. Wow. And we are here. Thank you so much. Keep calling some people. Tell them, share, tell them record and leadership is the show. So then, of course, that is filing the documents that you mentioned. But when you file, what is the importance?
One thing, like I have pointed out, if we are able to track the progress, one of the way is to look at where we are coming from. I normally say when records are lost, it's like a library has been burnt. There are key documents which must be preserved so that we are able to tell the generations of where we are coming from. And Apostle, it is common, and I think we all need to appreciate that even God honors writing. That is why even when he revealed things to men, like we know in the book of Revelation, he told John, write what you hear. And if God values writing, then we also need to do the same.
Even Habakkuk used to put down the vision.
Yes, you write it so that even those who run, they will be able to read it.
Wow.
One way for us to secure and to preserve institutions, memories, is by documenting them. If we want to make informed decisions, then we must have a point of reference. We cannot wake up one day and say we want to change from this to another. Our decisions must always be informed by records. It's very important. Or let me say, it is important for us to have record being our point of reference. Like, for example, if someone is running a business, and I want to use a business as a representation of many other maybe organizations we could be running, church being one of them, what would inform that your time to grow, maybe to get a new branch has come?
Okay.
And if you have been maintaining and building record, because one of the role of the leadership, it is to establish a management system that is able to track records, to maintain that there is high integrity of the record. In other words, those records can be relied upon by another person for decision making. And we are saying without records, we may miss on one or two important things, because we are not supposed to make decisions just emotionally. They need to be supported.
Not that I saw someone, I decided hata mimi, you know.
No. If you do that, you may be missing very key aspects.
Okay.
Because growth or changes within an organization, it needed to be informed by data. And therefore, one of the role of the leadership, it is first to ensure that the organization captures correct data. And it also maintains that data. And we also talk about data processing, so that you are able to convert data to information. And that information is now what you use to guide your day-to-day decision making.
Okay.
Anyone who moves without a point of reference may miss one or two key steps. Yes.
Wow, that is so good, and I really appreciate. And as I've always said, again, one of the reasons why I was so happy when I found you a whole day of record, filing, is, that was mind-blowing, that a whole day to keep record. Now I know why. But then...
maybe, Apostle, before you do that, yesterday I was perusing in my library. I was going through my document. And I could trace books that I have, my notebook, church notebooks, which I have done from the year 2008. I have all of them together from 2008.
How many years are those? 2008, almost 19 years or so? Well,
close to 20 years.
Man, you have the books, the notebooks.
Yes.
You know, in the Bible, there's a man called Baruch. Baruch was the scribe for Jeremiah. So he followed Jeremiah writing. I think if there's anybody who ever preached to you between that time, should come back to you for help. Because I am sure there are sermons that people may not find, but you have them.
I have them.
Wow.
I have them.
This man told me something I've never forgotten. That's why he is our guest today. He said, keep taking photos all the time. And he has always maintained that. Keep taking photos. And I'll show you one photo I saw last week.
But
Amazing.
Of course, not on this show.
Even on this show, we have to take a photo to remind us. So let's continue.
One of the, I loved the one of the core value for Kodak. And they said, actually that was like their slogan.
Kodak.
Yes. Capturing memorable moments.
Wow.
That every time you take a photo, you are capturing a memorable moment.
Wow.
And it has been my desire. I like documenting facts. And one of the things that has earned me respect in my time of work, through that journey, the one I've said for almost 23 years now, it is the fact that I have been able to preserve records that no one else was able to do that. And through that, I have seen a lot of respect and a lot of value, because documents, when we maintain document, we are also it's also a representation of the value. It's also a representation of value.
Wow. Yes. Yeah, man. We are still on. But allow me to just, many a times when I come and the thing starts, and then I forget about the other side of audience, YouTube. They start throwing stones. But I have some people here. We have 𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏 Minor says, if it is written, this is important, great wisdom. And then George Wabuira says, when it comes to record keeping, Pastor Nation is worthy of listening to, not only because he is a professional accountant, but because he practices it in his personal life and ministry. These are people who have watched you, who know you well. History is preserved now, not when it is gone. It is written. If it is written, it is important. Grace Moredi says, records. Interesting and very important. And he says, I am here learning. David Chege says, records are key in any form of leadership. You preserve, in any form of leadership, you preserve history today and not tomorrow. I think that was really powerful. And then Motiso says, records serve as a point of reference, especially when we need to make informed decisions regarding institutional changes. And then John says, when it comes to record, I remember how Mordecai good deeds were remembered by the king in Esther 6:2. Thus, record help us not only to remember, but also to fairly reward good deeds in any organization. And then Scholastica Mutinda says, I should not make decisions emotionally. Keeping records are very key, learning a lot. And then capturing memorable moments and the keeping record is a presentation of value. I read all that for you to know that as you are speaking, someone is getting help, because there are people who just get a receipt, they trash. They get this, they trash. After all, it was yesterday. You know, we don't live on yesterday's information. People argue like that. And so you are here telling us, keep record for decision making, keep record for memorable, you know, to make it memorable. And of course, it is going to save you in many areas. I want us to take a very short break, just 2 minutes. When we take a short break, we allow you to, as we take this short break, we allow you to keep sharing and writing any question, any comment. When you come back, we'll pick it at that and continue. 2 minutes, and we'll be back.
Elevate your brand with Elevate TV, a premier media station in the country. We specialize in video production, live coverage, advertising and social media marketing. We do quality production for YouTube videos, podcasts and live events. Transform your vision into reality with creativity and precision. Call us today and elevate your story on 0705 872 237.
There's an awakening. Young people are everywhere pursuing Christ.
We've been desiring to have a place we can pray, break bread, share the word, fellowship.
God ordered the steps of the one and only Apostle Juma.
Because of that, this revival requires a discipleship program, the ABC of Christianity.
So we are going to collabo every other Wednesday at Kenya Cinema Bible Study.
Emerge Nation is a service that we are beginning every Wednesday at the Apostolic House for young people, 5:30 in the evening all the way to 7:30.
Imagination is a partnership between Street Praise, all chapters, and the Great Life Church International under the leadership of Apostle David Juma.
This is a saved generation that's going to become strong, and they are going to be sent.
What are you waiting for? Tell a friend to tell a friend, even grab a friend, and see you there. Adios.
Are you seeking deeper understanding, spiritual growth, and a firm foundation in your walk with Christ?
Anyone who comes to the place of faith, believing Jesus Christ, they resurrect from the graves.
This is what we call doctrine.
Pillars of Faith, an educative and captivating forum to inspire your spiritual journey. With your host, Pastor Mark Mutinda, building lives on the unshakable truth of God's Word.
I told you 2 minutes, and because I also want to go to heaven, so I don't lie. 2 minutes, I have to come back. Leadership and records. That's what we are talking about. And of course, as I told you, for just those who are joining, Pastor Nahashon Macharia is the one, breaking this bread for us, as we say in church. So when we were going on break, Pastor, you just mentioned, of course, history. If it is important, you must. If it's written, is important. But then let me take you a bit further. Let's talk about how do you develop the discipline of record keeping? Because there are people who just would want, but they don't have it. So is there a pattern you can give us?
Okay. One, like we have said, that history is preserved now, not when it is long gone. So every day provides an opportunity for us to capture something. So one of the areas that we all need to appreciate is that it is our responsibility.
So one, appreciate it is your responsibility.
Yes.
Don't throw it to another person. Record keeping is your first personal responsibility.
Yes. And because the position you're holding is one of trust, then you are answerable to another. And you also need to take care of yourself, because when records are properly kept, they save the institution, or they protect the institution as well as the leader. And therefore, it is good to appreciate that it is my responsibility to maintain record. And everything that pertain to what we do on day to day is very important for us to capture. There are some people who don't see the value of receipts. I will talk that as an accountant, because maybe you can allow me to give this from an experience that I had.
Okay.
From my auditing background. that I went to one organization, and because the culture of record keeping was not honored, that everyone wanted to memorize, to remember how they carried and handled some key transactions. And when you remember, when we tried to establish how it was supposed to be done, you realize everything that was procured and how things were done, there were very key documents. But now the person in the team that is responsible to preserve that history, they did not do their part. So one of the things that we must all appreciate is that the onus is with me to ensure that the way to explain where I'm coming from is by preserving some key records. And it has to be a daily routine. And then you need to have a dedicated systems. One of the role of the management is to ensure that there is a system that it tracks. Data need to be well preserved and maintained in a proper way so that the users of that data, they may not need it now, but in the days to come, they need to find it in a proper way. If we need to convert that data to a format or in a way that it can be referenced, maybe for a long time, maybe converting it to soft data is very important. Some records need to be written. Others need to be maintained in files. We have tools that helps us to ensure that we can capture record with a lot of ease. Like now, we have computers. And we also have phones. Those are tools that can help us. And we have other platforms, courtesy of technology, that can help us. And once you capture and store data there, you can even access it from whatever source. So my starting point is that we need to honor where we are. We must know that today is very important for the person we are becoming, and maybe for the record that are needed, either for today or maybe the time to come. Yes.
All right, so don't say you'll start tomorrow.
No.
So must we do it daily?
Yes.
Every day you have record that you are keeping.
Yes. That discipline is very important, and discipline is cultivated.
Okay.
You have to do it. Number one, because we appreciate it is my responsibility.
Wow. I hope you got that. It is personal. Don't forward it to another person. Do it. I did laugh at. And you know, pastors, you are talking. I imagine even now there are some people you give a challenge and say, bring your ID. They don't know where the ID is. Or we are going to this country, come in the afternoon. They don't even know where their passport is. So even keeping things well, they don't. But now let's go now from your accounting perspective and to an institution. What are the records that are very important? I know you talk about the basic, the foundational record, constitution, but from an accounting perspective.
One of the key records every organization needs to keep is financial records. And when we are talking about financial records, the journey begins at the level of handling day-to-day transactions. That is where we are accounting for receipts. We have things like budgets. We have the day-to-day record keeping in terms of our income and expenditure. You can go to an organization and you realize they have invested in every other area, but what they have neglected is investing in an area that handles their accounting record. And accounting records are very key because they are, number one, like I said, the position that we hold is one of trust. Like when we talk about the Kenya Revenue Authority that has issued with a KRA PIN, at the end of the financial year, they will demand a report. And they are not just waiting for you to prepare financial statements. At times, based on maybe the demand of the time and the season and maybe any other reason that may prompt them to do that, they may visit an institution and they will require you to table all the documents of original entry. Things like receipts, our invoices, our payrolls, But you realize in some organizations, some people have even employed workers, and they miss very key document that you don't even have an ID of the employee that you have engaged. Even a Kenya Revenue Authority PIN for the person you have employed, it is actually mandatory that at the point of engaging an employee, I'm now giving an example of how we can actualize it. At the point of engaging an employee, that you're supposed to ask them to provide, among others, their copy of KRA PIN certificate, their ID, their copy of the application letter, so that against that you can issue them with an employment contract. So the issuer of the PIN certificate will always come back, because the fact that they have given you that certificate calls for a compliance obligation. It says that person will come back to know, are you adhering to the rule? Are you operating within the prescribed rules of the land? When we talk about a document like the certificate of registration, the one that is issued by the Registrar of Society, it demands, this is now for a church organization, that we even maintain record, membership record, whereby we track attendance. We know if someone was to ask how many members have been worshiping in our churches, that without a guess, we can go back to records. And that is one way of saving ourselves from so many hassles, because when it is not clear, someone we might think that something is being hidden. But when we keep record, we are saving ourselves from many things that can arise. And we are also saving the organization, because sometimes if you are told to rebuild data that is not there, and maybe you are given like 5 years to do that, you may not be able to come up with a true and fair picture of the operations. But if you maintain that discipline day by day, and you are able to consider, you know, because every institution knows what is key for them. And also the compliance requirement allow us to know what are we supposed to ensure is in place. And when we make sure that we track and we monitor our progress by capturing every important milestone, in the future when we need to refer, we don't have to struggle.
Let me take you back a bit. So you talked about, if it is about Kenya Revenue Authority, the document you mentioned, there is the PIN,
yes,
for example, the workers,
yes,
the people working, and then
this is now the KRA PIN for the employees.
Now to the in the file of the worker.
Yes.
Now, what about the organization? Do you or is it that part of the organization now?
Yes, that is the culture that we need to build.
Okay.
I have just given one example.
Okay.
I have said that there are many stakeholders around an organization. I've given an example of Kenya Revenue Authority as one of them.
Okay.
But I have also said we have
the Registrar of Society.
The Registrar of Society.
You keep the register of membership.
Requires us to keep the register and updated register of members.
Okay.
We also have other engagements and maybe other contracts with like people who provide like annual maintenance services, what we call AMCs, annual maintenance contract. Like the people who are providing services, maintaining our generators, our IT systems, and maybe providing other management services. If for us to be able to walk a journey that is transparent, then we must ensure that we keep record and we make sure that those records are correctly entered and they are accurate and they are traceable.
You know, I don't know whether you have heard people who say, we don't count members. Because, you know, David suffered for counting during the census. Have you heard people who talk like that?
I have heard people say
So what do we do?
One, it is good to appreciate there was the context within which that was, God wanted David to take that part, that route. But now for us, the providers, those who have provided us with the support, or maybe the environment around which we operate, they have a requirement on us that we must be accountable.
Well, I was just throwing that because there are people who say we don't count members because we don't want to suffer what David suffered. But now you know. Of course, the context was different, and the motive behind counting was also different, and it was one case. So there is someone asking a question here, Pastor. He says, if you can't count, you can't account. For sure, the guess is equal to the task. One thing I ask, that the man of God touches is governance versus record keeping in the church, especially that we follow those who are also following. Follow me as I follow Christ. In other words, you are following someone who never kept record, and you have to follow him as he follows the Lord. So do you start keeping record, or do you keep following him assuming he follows the Lord, who presumably never kept a record? Wow. I'm just saying that to finish that statement. That I'm assuming that the follower they are following, who is following Jesus, believes that Jesus never kept records. But I think Jesus kept record. Remember?
Jesus kept record.
You remember when there was he provided bread.
Yes.
Then there were leftovers.
Yes.
The Bible says they were corrected and accounted, and they were left 12 baskets, and it is recorded. So really, if you follow Jesus, you should keep record. You should do what he did. Answer the question.
You should do what he did.
So,
and I also believe, Apostle, that is why Bible dedicated. This is my way of looking at it. That is why in the Bible there is a book that is called Numbers that was dedicated, so that if we forget, we have something to remind us that numbers are very important. There is also the book of Chronicles, which is like retelling, reminding us of the many episodes that happened in the Bible. Deuteronomy is also there, which captures the many things that happened. And therefore we are not an exception. At every level of leadership, whether at a personal level, at an institutional level, at the family level, records are very key. Records are very key. Jesus loved record. That is why we hear the number of disciples he had. Yeah, it is documented. We also told, like the example you have quoted, the people that were fed, and who are they? Because the Bible talks about there were women and children who were numbered. And they go forward to even telling us about the leftovers. So records are very key.
Wow.
Records are very key.
And then this is Churchill. Moredi asked, how do you ensure record-keeping integrity when a team member is accused of data tampering?
One, among other documents that touches on governance and leadership in an organization, we have code of ethics and code of conduct that defines the framework that everyone and those who are engaged to support the operations of the company, they must operate within a certain rule. The leadership has the responsibility to ensure that proper vetting is done, and there is continuous engagement and continuous appraisal, because we needed to appraise some records. As a leader, don't just keep quiet. Stay there thinking that all is well. Remember, you carry the direction of where the organization is going. If they fail you, if the workers or the other employees don't do what is supposed to be done, the blame will not go to them. It will go to the leadership. And therefore, leadership needed to cultivate and to provide a good environment that ensures that data is captured correctly and data is processed in the right way, and it is also stored. Because you can correct, you can also process, but when it comes now to the storage of data, you can't access it. And it is not accessible. So it is the role of the leadership to ensure that we ensure there is a system that we have built by providing the right tools.
Wow. Yes. I love my very good friend Reverend Elijah Mwangi says Jesus kept record of the remains.
Yes.
He quotes John 6:12, after feeding the multitude, and then the collecting of the leftovers. That is, and how it was used wisely. Thank you so much, Reverend. And I'm sure my friend Michael, your question is answered, that records are very important. Jesus kept records. If you are following someone who doesn't believe in record keeping, then probably there is a detour somewhere, and probably that person is not following Jesus, or rather he does not understand the Jesus he is following. So records are very important, as Pastor Nashon has put it. Please value record and keep them. And then the other thing I really appreciate, Pastor, is that these records are used for decision making. And these decisions, sometimes we have found ourselves making decisions that is not, or decisions that are not backed by any data, or that are not scientific, if I put it that way. Now, there are also people who keep very good record, but they don't know how to use the records. For example, why do you count members? Or why do you take a register? How does it help you, not just the registrar? And I think that is something you could help.
Yeah, I know we have emphasized a lot about users of the records that we maintain, and we have focused more of external stakeholders. But internally, those records are very key. Like, for example, and I want to talk about like power consumption. If you maintain a record of monthly power consumption, maybe by tracking the bills, the power bills that you are paying, it will inform you whether there is need for you to make a decision to engage maybe a cheaper option to add the supply of power. Like, for example, why should we make a decision not to use a generator as opposed to use maybe like the power from Kenya Power
or solar?
Why, when you maintain those day-to-day records internally, you will be able to make those informed decisions. And let's say, for example, you have engaged an employee. If you don't conduct what we call performance appraisal, on what basis will you make a decision whether to promote that employee, or maybe to award them with a salary rise,
or to fire
them? Because sometimes you might realize this person has become a liability to an organization, but on the other side you might realize an employee is very profitable to the organization. So when you keep records and you keep monitoring what happened, maybe, and you have to be very specific, it helps you so that as you make decisions, your decisions are backed by fact. Because leadership is not an emotional, you can't make decisions emotionally. The best way to make decisions is they have to be informed. And looking at records will always guide you to know whether you are on the right track and you are making the right decision based on specific parameters.
Wow, thank you so much. I love the fact that, especially the area of your views about energy, power consumption and all that. And of course, many people I'm not saying, when I say church, I don't mean every church, but I think one of the areas we have gotten it wrong is where we just get records, but we don't know how to use them. We have records, but like, for example, somebody says we were 2,000 last week. So what about that number, And I think as simple as knowing that Sunday we may need to add more seats, or we need to move out of this place, the place is small, or probably we divide we have several services, and all those are decisions that are supposed to be made.
Yes.
But then I have a question here. Somebody is asking, which I don't want him to throw stones, because we say we ask so that it can be answered. And he was asking, Churchill says, is asking, how do you deal with people when you have data you collect? Yeah, How can a leader ensure that their team maintain accurate and transparent record even when faced with the pressure of manipulating data or hide mistakes? I think this is security of record or something.
And data integrity. We are not just talking about record keeping. Those records must be correct. They must be accurate. Because behind the day-to-day maybe that preparation of data, we are saying there are decisions that we will make in the future that must be supported by that. And like I said, it is the role of the management to ensure that they have provided an enabling environment where we have systems that will help us, number one, before we engage, if it is an employee, like the one our viewer has asked a question concerning, who may be doing something that is not consistent with the culture of the organization, that based on the set rules within an organization, where I said those rules are defined through our code of conduct and ethics, being one of the governance document that every organization needs to have. Through that, you have a point of reference. You are not just punishing that person emotionally, but you can point them to something. Remember, at the point of engagement, we also make employees to sign up to those, to make sure that, to sign up that they are committed to ensuring that they support the integrity of the organization and to ensure that they operate within the set rules and guidelines within an organization. Yeah, that's what I can say for now.
I am sure, my brother Churchill, your question is answered. Now it is upon you now to know how to handle it. And again, remember, the data is never incorrect. It's the person feeding it who makes it incorrect. So you deal with the person, because data is data. If it was 2, it was 2, unless somebody put it 3. So really, I think that is answered, and I really appreciate that. And Pastor Nation, before we go, I know my director is now back to us, as I told you the other time. Somebody may want to know more about this data and how to keep, and maybe where you can help. I know you do financial matters.
Yes.
You can tell us, if somebody wants help on record, what record can you help in, or areas can you help in?
I know one of the areas that you highlighted as we continued with this interview is that some people may keep data, but they don't know where they will need it or where they will use it. That is where we say consult and ask the expert, because data usage, or maybe like we said, that decision making should be backed by facts, and one of the facts is acquired through the numbers and the records that we maintain. It is good for you to engage professionals. That is why whenever we are employing in our institutions, we go for the best. And sometimes, even when you employ the best, they may not solve all your problems, because the needs of institutions are quite dynamic. Sometimes there are emerging issues. There are changes within the economy. The technology changes, demand that we do things differently. When it comes to that, that is where now you engage maybe like professionals as consultants. And like in my field, one of the assignment I have conducted, or I have done, is to offer financial support to churches and leadership, and also to do consultancy services. And at time it is, I find a lot of joy when I see growth, and especially when you work with people who are willing to take the advice and to take the instruction as you recommend. Yeah.
And other than that, there is where you minister.
Yes. I want to first acknowledge and appreciate our church family, GCC Kamuru. This is a good place where Jesus is blessing us every other day, And we see God ministering to people and lifting people and helping us to discover more about ourselves and to discover more about Him. If you find yourself in Kamuru or around Kagudo Road or any other place, I welcome you to join us. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. That is my guest, Pastor Nahashon Macharia, and that is what we end for today. But before I go, remember, I cannot go before I let you know about a very special book, Money Matters. This book has been a blessing to very many people. So many people keep writing to me and saying, hey, Apostle, that book, Money Matters, changed my life. And some people ask, where do I get it from? I tell them, if you just go to Facebook, Apostle Patrick Mpulira, and write to me and tell me where that book is needed, we can organize for that. However, come to Kenya Cinema. At the mezzanine, there's a very, very special bookshop there. It's called Elevation Bookshop. Come there, get a copy, read it, and you let me know what you think about Money Matters. God bless you. We'll be meeting again next Tuesday, time like now. Shalom and bye.
Thank you.